ever since we knew we were going to give this award, and looking over my shoulder, I've had these three little folks going through my mind at night, looking over my shoulder, coming and waking me up at night saying, Tony, you better get this right. Don't mess it up, Tony. In those three characters are Sheila's dad, Jim, our dear friend, Kathy Conroe, and our other hero, Lester Pritchett. These were three passionate mentors of Sheila's, played a major role in her character building and her advocacy throughout her life. I've known Sheila for many, many years. But in the past 15 years that she's been the director of the Illinois Council on Developmental Disabilities, this is truly her calling. She is, without a doubt, the best developmental disability director in the nation. There's just no doubt about that, Sheila. She's also my strongest ally in the Capitol. You know, as the ARC, you know, we're there to stand up for individuals and families. And we're oftentimes outgunned by major trade associations such as the nursing home lobbies and groups like that. And she stands closely with me at every point. But having said that, she's also kind of pushy. In fact, Kevin, would you say she's very pushy at times? But she's pushy because she wants us all to be our best. She wants us all to see the big picture. And she wants us all to be better. There's no doubt about that. Systems change here in Illinois has been her calling. And she is equally passionate about making sure that people with intellectual and developmental disabilities are at the table with a meaningful voice. That has been, you know, her mission since I've known her. There are a couple of initiatives that I think, she's been so many, that really called her forth her leadership here. Michael had mentioned the blueprint for system redesign. That is without a doubt the ARC's template for moving forward in Illinois, and very much the template for the rebalancing initiative here that the governor's put forth. The creation of something called the Alliance. The Alliance is a rebirth of self-advocacy in Illinois. Yes. Statewide, self-advocates are meeting on a regular basis. We were in the Capitol just last month, where about 350, mostly people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, stormed the Capitol, talking about their life, inclusion, we want inclusion. Lastly, probably the most important one, the one we certainly had the most fun of, was a brainchild of Lester's and Sheila's, and it's something called the Speak Up, Speak Out Summit. Holy cow, if you want to have a great time, it's like 3 days of dances and educational forums. The governor was there last November. Nellie, you were there, Mark, Kevin. It's a wonderful gathering. We had a record-breaking crowd of about 550 people with intellectual disabilities at the Hilton in Springfield. And did we rock? Did we have fun? And has that grown? All because of that vision. Sheila concentrates on things that really matter, and it's why we love her and why we have her here today to present her with the ARC's most prestigious award, the President's Award. Sheila Romano.
Say wow. Tony first called me to say that, well, first, I was going to wear a suit today with the pockets, so I have to put my Kleenex in there. And I thought, no, I don't need it, I'll be fine. When Tony first called me, I did get a little weepy-eyed saying, I can't believe it, it's, is this a Friday afternoon joke? And he said, this is no joke, Sheila. And since then, I'm just so humbled by this. I don't even know what to say. I am celebrating 15 years this month at the council. I absolutely love it. I say I have the best job in state government, and I believe it because I am able to keep my advocacy hat on, working with the council, and thank you for all the council members who are here today. It's just been unbelievable. When I first started 15 years ago, one of the first calls I got was from Tony. I had been a member of the ARC, but not an active and visible member, and he called and said, hey kid, have lunch. And we have stood shoulder to shoulder. So the ARC has been an unbelievable partner in this, and very lucky to have the leadership in Tony. I was debating if I was going to share this story, but when you mentioned my dad, I am going to share this story. I'm also often asked, how did I get into the field? Do you have a child with a disability? Do you have a sibling with a disability? My answer is always no. I got into the field because it was in the 8th grade, and for a confirmation project, I had to do some volunteer work. Long story short, I volunteered at the Playground Association. It was just supposed to be one afternoon, and I was going to be done with my commitment. And it was, from what I understand, the first group home for children in the state of Illinois. So I was in 8th grade, and I went, and I believe there were 8 folks who lived in this group home. I can still very, very vividly remember many of them. And I loved my experience, and I hated my experience. I loved it because I met people who I had never met before, people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. But I hated it because I couldn't understand why they couldn't live with their families the way I was living with my family. So I went home, and I grew up in a very modest house, and the office was sitting on the edge of my parents' bed. So I could picture us sitting on the edge of my parents' bed. I was in the middle, my mom on one side, my dad on the other. And they said, well, what can you do to improve their lives? And what can you do to improve the lives of people moving forward? And that was the changing moment for me. I continued to volunteer at that group home through high school. And I was ready for systems change. What was I going to do to improve the lives of people moving forward? So I thank my mom and my dad for their vision and their leadership. And I thank all of you. This is a wonderful leadership award, but it's a team. It's all of us having to work together to make sure all of our voices are heard and heard in different ways. So again, I'm very, very, very humbled. Also very appreciative. So thank you very much.